Hey y'all, I'm Shayna and I'm back with another review. This is for Ready to Love season 7, but you know it's season 8 for me because I count the resort season. This is Do You Like Me? And I have a lot of notes. I think tonight's episode was really good. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Before we do, I'm still trying to grow my channel. So what are we doing? Like, if you've been here before and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up, like the video, comment, check out my other content, and most importantly, be sure to subscribe. It will help your girl out a ton. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into it. The men meet in the gentleman's lounge, and Tommy tells them to focus on their most promising connections, same as every other season. He says later in the week there will be a group dinner, and Tommy wants to see compatibility. He needs to see the connections. Good luck seeing it with this group. I don't know if there's many genuine connections here, or just people that just want to be on TV, but that's just me. So we have our first group date with the men all dressed in black. Here come the men in black. It's Lyndon, Anthony, and Blake, and we have Mercedes, Cynthia, and Suanne. And I'm like, who is Mercedes here for? Because I thought she liked Mark Anthony, so at this moment I'm confused. Who is she here for? So they do an obstacle course, and Cynthia is getting extremely competitive. I get that way too. Once it's a competition, honey, I'm playing to win, okay? So I saw Lyndon giving Pick Me Sue a piggyback ride, and that caught me off guard because I thought it was, I'm like, wait a minute, that ain't Blake. Oh, I didn't even realize she was talking to anybody else. So we're seeing more of Anthony, and he says his two connections are Mercedes and Cynthia. But I'm wondering if we would have seen this much of Anthony if Andre was still around. Because when he was around, we didn't see Anthony at all. I almost forgot he was there. So they play a game of Connect 4, and Mercedes loses the game. It's Mercedes and Anthony, and she has to share something she wouldn't normally share. She shares that she likes Anthony, but she's intimidated by him. And I think that took a lot for her to say, it's a lot to be like, I'm intimidated by you. So, the women are being vulnerable this season, honey. She says she doesn't know if she'll be able to meet all his needs. Like, she feels like he has himself all the way together, and she just doesn't quite know where she would fit in that. And he says she's dismissing herself too soon. She is, honey. Don't count yourself out. Just because he has all these things, that doesn't mean that you don't meet his needs. That doesn't mean you can't provide what he needs. So I mean, that's just comes with time and getting to know each other and all that. He said we can work on this together, and I like that. So Lynn and Sue chat. Surprisingly, I guess they just have to talk just for the sake of talking. And just like with Marcia, Lyndon took a while to use Sue's number. He ain't been called. Apparently, he hasn't called anybody on the cast, which just confirms what I've been already thinking. He's here for one thing and one thing only, and that's that TV time. So he says, look, when I finally did use it, I finally reached out to you. You didn't even respond. Why? And she was like, I was asleep, that time difference. It's just an issue. You work at night, I work during the day. Child, you wasn't that interested. That's why. Lyndon said most of their conversation is just joking and surface level. Same like with Blake, if you ask me. So he said he can see them, getting it popping. Like, they can get it popping, but that's it. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. There's no love connection here. No shock there. So Lyndon pulls Mercedes to the side. And I'm like, okay, watch. Watch him be the next guy to go. Watch him be, now, with the previews, I don't know. I think I might have saw him again. I can't remember. But right now, in this moment, I was thinking, watch him be the next to go because he doesn't have any genuine connections. And Blake is going to stay yet another week. And I can't stand it. But besides me thinking he's going to be the next guy to go home, he comes right out and asks Mercedes if she likes him. And she said she get friend vibes. She put him in the friend zone. Yep, he's going to go next. So, but I mean, Morgan says she likes him, but we know she's only saying that to make Tony jealous. So let's see if there's a real connection between them two. That's his last saving grace. Blake and Sue have a one-on-one. Not interested, but let's watch anyway. So Blake said they're spending time together. When they're spending time together, she don't really talk. She don't say much. Every man is saying the same thing. It's something about her personality. It's just as dry as his is. Maybe y'all should ride off into the sunset together. But I think that's a bad sign. Red flag, flag on the play. Sue said, and what about you? You have your other connections. Girl, what? Ooh. I know it'll be a whole lot of chit chat going on outside of the cameras, but honey, every woman every week has consistently said they don't like him. They don't see it for him. So he has no other connections but you, unless you're talking about his personal life. Bottom line is, Sue Ann just has zero substance, if you ask me. But for some reason, after he says you don't have a personality and you don't be talking about nothing, she jumps up and sits in his lap. They give an unromantic kiss with no passion at all. And then she jokes in her confessional that, oh, I got a boyfriend now. Girl, until they stop filming, you do. So Blue and Jeffrey have a date, and she says she missed him. She's like, I missed you. And really? Because I thought y'all ain't even like notice each other till last week when y'all was making vision boards. Missed him. When was y'all spending time? See, we need them to get like personal cams. I saw it on somebody's review and I forgot who. I'm sorry. If it was you, make a comment. But yes, they need like confessional cams where they like self-record so we can see what's going on outside of the day-to-day filming, because clearly there's a lot we missing. So Jeffrey said her strongest connections are Blue and Mark Anthony. When did Blue get on the list? I guess the day DeMario got off, Blue got on. So they chat about their kids, and Jeffrey asks him, where he sees her fitting into his life, or does he see her fitting into his life? He said, yeah, I see you in there somewhere, but not sure where. Okay, well, tell her how you really feel. So she tells him, she wants him to be more assertive. Like, she wants him to come get her. He takes notes and he sits next to her, starts holding her hand, and a family of ducks swim by because they're sitting near a lake. Jeffrey points out that there's no dad, just the mom and her babies. And she said, even the animals have to go through this. Even the animals got to go through this? Yes, they do. Yes. I've seen single mother animals all the time, bears and all. Blue said, it shows how strong you guys are. And Jeffrey said, I don't want to keep being strong. Child, I heard that. You were speaking my language, Jeffrey. I'm tired of it. I don't want to be strong, independent. No. Soft girl me, please. So Blue said, I got your back. Heard that. Blue said he's going to start applying more pressure, but when he applies it, she better reciprocate and receive it. So I like where this budding connection is going so far. I feel like Jeffrey is just like whoever she's talking to, it seems like it could be a fit. It don't matter who she's talking to. Like, she's just going to seem like she's connecting and vibing with them until she's not. So Lyndon is nervous because Tommy didn't specify who has the power this week. So he's like, that seems like a curveball. But he and Morgan have a date. Tony and Marcia also have a date. I did not forget when Marcia said she don't really like men with kids. So that's in the back of my mind. So Lyndon mentions Morgan stating that she's never been in love. And she said in her longest relationship, her ex, he was a good person, but not a good partner. And she knew she wasn't in love. She just couldn't trust him. Lyndon said trust has been an issue for him because of his career. And she like, well, you need a woman who's confident, this and that. And he like, it sounds like you describing yourself. She's selling herself to me too. So Tony tells Marcia he likes her and Morgan. And she like, hold up, what? Don't be mentioning nobody else. Like, you like me. He's like, you and Morgan, like I said. But he feels like Morgan is more aggressive. Lyndon and Morgan talk about what side of bed they sleep on, because Tommy had like made mention of it in the church, aka the lounge, for both the gentlemen and the women. Tony is expressing that he wants to be chased, and Marcia begins to give him praise. You want A woman to chase you? That's what I've got from it. Because he's like, okay, men want to know that, you're interested too. And that will come. She's like, and that will come in time. I think once a woman, she said, I need to feel safe. And I agree. Once a woman feels safe, you will see that she's interested. All the things that you don't have to ask her to do them, she'll do them because she feels safe with you. But you just coming out and basically expressing how you like to be chased. I don't like it. Tony and Morgan just seem like they're more connected with each other. So these other dates just must be just playing the game. Other than Tony, I don't see Marcia doesn't have another connection. She was trying with Blue, but Blue ain't liking her. Moving on, Mark, Anthony, Tony, Jeffrey, and Jonique go on a group date. Jonique said the process is overwhelming. She usually takes her time to get to know someone. She may be next. Because you don't say stuff like that in the process. Yes, in real life, we like to take our time. We don't want to rush nothing, but this is the process. You signed up for it. Jeffrey says she's fully immersed in the process. She shares that having children, even though she had children of her own, she didn't want a man with children, but that led her to being a single mother, even going through pregnancy and giving birth alone. Wow. I mean, I was a single mother for a long time, but going through the pregnancy and giving birth alone, I can't imagine. Like, sheesh. It's very upsetting. And she said, her list was just getting in the way. I'm glad she shared. I'm glad she just opened up. Like, nobody just twisted her arm or anything. She just was just vulnerable. And her and Jonique, on this date, both were just openly sharing, and I like that. I just never understood when I was younger, like when I just had my son and I was in my early 20s, I used to feel like, oh, I don't want a man with kids. I don't want the baby mama drama. But I quickly got over that. And as I got, the older you get, first of all, the options are few. That's number one. And number two, it's almost like when you're with someone who doesn't have any children, they can't fully like grasp what it's like to be a parent when you're just unavailable because you're parenting. You have something to do with your kids. You can't get up and go, or you're saying certain things as they're giving suggestions. I would do this. I would do that. And while that's great and that may be true, you don't really know until you are in the thick of it and you really are parenting. So that can sometimes be an issue. I don't know. I just feel like give a man a chance. A lot of times women don't want to date men with children because they feel like there's baby mama drama. That's how you'll know. That's the sign. You don't have no signs with a man with no children. You don't know what you're going to get until the child come. Versus when you're with someone, okay, if there's drama, then walk away. That situation ain't done with. But if there's nothing going on and they're on good terms, that's how you know there's no drama. That it's okay to proceed. I'm proceeding with caution, but I can proceed. But I'm glad she, kind of got over that. Seems like that's still her type because she over there, with her eyes on Mark Anthony, who don't even like to date women with children, and she has 3. So Jeffrey and Mark Anthony start flirting, and he clearly is just more of her type. I think Blue is like the safe bet, like he makes sense, but Mark Anthony is just more her type. That's my opinion. Tony says he wants to get married. Mark asks the women their type, and Jonique mentioned, wanting an alpha male. I said, Lord, not this again. Please, not the alpha male. A lot of self-proclaimed alpha males. That was my phone, y'all. A lot of self-proclaimed alpha males are low-key narcissists. So I feel like they use it to justify just being a-holes. She gave a nice, good laundry list. It was a good list, but it was seeming long. I don't know if because she was talking a lot or what. But she wants a confidant and a man she can, trust and provide her all that stuff. Tony liked what Jonique had to say, and now she's on his radar. Get on it quick, honey, before elimination comes up. So Joe doesn't see it for Mark, but maybe for Tony. I can't really see her and Tony together. Like, I don't know. I just don't see it. Especially when she was crying and he was sitting there looking at her like a deer stuck in headlights. So it's time for the party, or whatever it's supposed to be. The group gathering, and everyone looks good. Lyndon and Morgan are flirting, and Tony must feel threatened because he's acting very territorial. Like, oh, you think you got a chance when I'm in the picture? No, you don't. Tony, don't you have your own other connections? Why are you worried about what they got going on? They're not even talking about you. Sue and Anthony chat, and in her confessional, she says she feels like they have a connection, but he hasn't expressed that. Really? I mean, if he hasn't expressed it, I would think it's because there's no connection. But he said they've always had a connection, but talking to her is basically, once again, surface level. So there's no connection. What? What? Anyway, Tommy arrives and said Andre called and said he's healthy and wants to come back. First of all, we already knew from the previews he was coming back because of them scenes that we didn't see. But Andre, he comes back with his curl in the front, puff on the top, and frohawk in the back, like he liked to do it. Y'all know how he liked to do. I guess that was a curveball for the season. Like, oh yeah, he's leaving. Oh wait, psych. No, he's not. And he just jumped right back in like he ain't never left. I mean, giving opinions and thoughts and what? Okay. So, since Andre is back, two singles are getting eliminated tonight. So, one man, one woman. Tommy wants to find out who's not liking who. So, we have a deliberation in front of everybody. Ain't no women's lounge, men's lounge, just everybody lounge. So, we start with Andre. He feels like Mercedes didn't reach out to him while he was away. And she like, well, you wasn't in the process anymore. So, I mean, there's that. And I'm with her. You self-eliminated. So, reach out for what? But okay. Marcia says Anthony, they don't connect in the process. Like they talk outside of the process, but in the process, they don't connect. How does that work? Isn't everybody talking on and off the process? Jeffrey said the same. She not really feeling Anthony. Cynthia said Mark Anthony. And she should have brought up the fact, what she said last week in the women's lounge, that he don't like women with kids. Say it again in front of him. But she didn't. But Joe said she don't like Mark Anthony either. And I know she didn't because when they were on a group date, when they were talking to each other, it was like a little tensiony. Sue Ann said that too. She ain't seeing it from Mark Anthony. A few guys said Sue Ann. Honestly, I think she should go. Her and Blake should go tonight. But we gonna see. Andre is giving input again, and once again, he been gone. You've been gone. You've been gone for 2 weeks. So just come in, sit quiet, and sit. He the most outspoken one. You ain't been here, bruh. You shouldn't have all this opinion. But okay. Blake says, Joe, he's not feeling her. Well, we already knew that, and she don't like him either. She should have said his name first so he can get up out of there. Morgan said she don't see it for Blake, and she mentioned what Jeffrey said about Blake in the Women's Lounge a few weeks back about him only wanting her and all that. Blake denies it, but it's like you trying too hard to prove that this didn't happen. And I believe Jeffrey. I do. I believe Jeffrey. Jeffrey mentioned Advocate Sue, because Blake and Sue, it's buy one get one free. You get one, you get the other. Blake contradicts himself, saying they had a connection at first, but then tries to say, oh no, but she lying now. And then Blake and Sue they proceed to tell Jeffrey to keep their name out of her mouth. And it's to be continued. So we will see next week who's up for double elimination. Obviously, it ain't Andre. And now that Andre's back, Cynthia said, come on back. You can come on back like you ain't never left. I'm waiting for you with open arms. Jeffrey excited. What that mean for Anthony and Blue, I don't know. So the fellas better step it up a whole lot. So hopefully it starts to really get good next week, because we got to get some of these people who ain't connecting up out of here. But let me know who y'all think the two should be down in the comments. Be sure to subscribe, tell a friend, and like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.